Welcome back to our live coverage here on the B stream of DreamHack Masters Dallas. I'm Vince, joined by Dust, and we have two pretty sick teams ahead of us, Vitality and NiP. This is more of the main course, I would say. This is a match that I was really looking forward to casting when we saw which games we had today, Dust, and it could be an interesting one because, again, we have to go back to the point that Dennis isn't in this roster right now. It's Peter instead. He stepped in.
That is very... And these teams don't have much of a head-to-head history against each other, but they did play each other at the most recent major, IM Katowice, back in February, and NiP was the victor of that, 2-1. Vitality did win Overpass, but NiP won Mirage and Cash, and that was actually a really, really big game because that decided who was actually, I think, going to the top 8 of that tournament. Other than that, though, they haven't really played each other in recent times, so not going to be much of a thing to read into. Map pool for this is obviously Overpass first. Dust 2 will be second. Nuke third. Overpass. This is actually the pick of NiP. A map they historically were very, very strong on, but have had their struggles recently. Meanwhile, Vitality, not only having beat NiP head-to-head at the major, have also had wins over Team Liquid and Ints on multiple occasions. So very, very strong record on this map.
Yeah, very strong records indeed. And Vitality, again, kind of going back to what you said, they've got some really big results recently. They're a team that I think most people, especially with the whole Dennis Peter situation, should be favorites. But you have to remember as well, they did lose their first match. Was it against North, if memory serves me correctly?
With Vitality?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a really close game on Overpass, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
It was like 16-14 or something like that. So very, very close. Whereas NiP, obviously, were able to beat Tyler yesterday in a very close game on Dust 2, but then they just got absolutely destroyed in the best of 3 by FaZe last night to get knocked down to the lower bracket. Again, obviously, loser of this is out of the tournament. Winner goes on to the lower bracket finals, where they would play the winner of North and Wendigo, which is actually the next best of 3 we'll cast after this. And those teams will be battling it out for one of the final playoff spots to go to the quarterfinals. So that is kind of where we're at. Another big thing to think about, Vince, as we go into this game is Vitality have just been on a tear lately, man. Like, they won CS Summit, they qualified for Cologne, qualified for ECS Season 7 finals. They had first place at a small tournament in Belgium over G2. They have really been picking up speed and actually currently sit ranked number 5 in the world. And they are the ones that, you know, had their full lineup, or NiP, a team that honestly have had some decent results at Sydney and Starlighter Season 7. They had the top 8 at the last major as well, again, beating Vitality in the key game to get to those playoffs. So they've done well enough to kind of linger around the top 10, but they haven't had any big results, right? Not like Vitality has done recently, and they're dealing with the stand-in. So that is kind of what we're up against going into this Overpass match.
Yeah, and even before then, Dennis was having some pretty rough performances himself. Yeah. You know, he even came out and tweeted saying, I don't know how to play this game anymore. He took a bit of a respite away. So NiP have been a team that haven't really reached the levels that we've been anticipating and hoping for.
Also, ZywOo comes to this tournament in 2019, the number 2 rated player of the year, number 2 in kill difference, number 2 in damage per round. Guess who's number 1 in all those categories?
Is he from Na'Vi?
Indeed he is. It's Simple. So ZywOo is literally only second to Simple for offline performances in 2019 so far. So that's who you get to see on display in this match.
Well, let's see then. Is he going to live up to the hype, the anticipation? DT side, we'll see Vitality nestle in, but a bullet has been put between the eyes of Alex. He's going to open up short. RPK's by himself for the time being. I'm going to try and rotate round towards Heaven. But NiP have actually dropped the bomb back towards the spawn, so they're not going to be going in for the plant anytime soon. ZywOo gets caught in transition as he tries to move into connector and get some information for himself. Now the bomb's been picked up, and Get Right has options. There's so much time left on the clock that the Swedes don't have to pull down on any decision just yet.
No, not at all. They have all their options open to them with those 2 kills, thanks to the work of Rez and Lekro, kind of 2 of the main fraggers of this team next to Forest. And so what are they going to do here? They do begin to start gathering up towards middle. They do have the smokes to line up the wall on the site, or perhaps just smoke deep towards dumpster and help create a little bit more space. There are a couple of CTs to defend, though.
Yeah, and MBK is one of them. Pistol in hand is going to be ripping through heads. Lekro's able to bounce back. It's been pretty rough so far, but now NiP is starting to take over. Lecro with 3 is going to add a 4. And Vitality will stumble on the first hurdle of the pistol round.
It got a bit scary for a moment because NBK got a second kill. I thought he'd only get one because there was a player along for NiP who seemed to have his number, but he got an extra one and made it a little bit dicey. But in the end, Lecro reels it back in. So that's NiP up 1-0. Vitality onto the full save. So this should be NiP finding round number 2, you would imagine.
You'd certainly expect that to be the case with the P250. And nothing else. Vitality very much bare. Nude. This time being in the Swedes. They're going to be waiting. They don't have Kevlar. That is a pretty naked feeling, a very vulnerable feeling in CS.
Like, paint me like one of your French girls naked feeling.
That would be apt for this, wouldn't it? With Vitality.
Yeah. How many Titanic references can we fit in this round, Vince? I think I'm spent on that.
Yeah, I think I am too.
Okay.
I'm the king of the world. Is that from Titanic?
Yeah, I think so.
There we go.
Or we could go to the opposing direction and go for Bare Naked Ladies, the rock band, because you've mentioned nudity for some reason. I'm not sure where you're going with that, to be honest.
I'm not sure where you're going with this either.
I'm just keeping it alive to make it awkward for you. It's really
tangent's real.
I mean, what else are we supposed to do in this round? I mean, it's just USP stacked on B, and that's not coming that way.
Nah, that's just analyze this. You're trash.
Oh yeah.
Trash Telecaster confirmed.
Don't know anything about the game, Vince. Just got to make bad jokes. Say bomb side gets taken over, as you'd expect. Rez finding in BK. Bomb should be going down any moment.
It will indeed go down. 3 players in bank. Going to be joined by a 4th. They still have the P250, the only power spike, the only power level they currently possess. But even that is not really going to do a great deal against this full Swedish lineup still alive with an assortment of rifles and SMGs. They're waiting for this smoke to clear, and they're just all going to pile out. Can Rez hold on, runs out of ammunition, and he will be taken down. A second kill from RPK. Not a bad result, honestly. 2 kills against full stacked weapons. They'll take it.
Yeah, what's in the pistol kills they got in the first round, and the fact that they full saved, they can actually get a pretty good buy here. Not going to be able to get an AWP for Zywoo, but still a very capable, flexible rifler, usually playing that A-bomb site within BK. RPK, the B anchor, Apex and Alex, the more mobile ones you'll see kind of going all over the place. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Pretty default opening from NiP. Get right, always kind of your B-side player. This time, Lecro is going to double up with him. Normally a connector player. He wants to help Get right get short B control through the tunnel. Kind of curious what Peta's going to do for the team, because Dennis was very much kind of just entry fragger at A with Rez. As Forrest is typically going to have the AWP whenever they actually have one. Yesterday, he pretty much did take all of Dennis' spots. They didn't really move things around too much, so I suppose he'll do the same.
Anticipating an aggression through mid, not forthcoming Vitality with weapons. Going to be locking it down. No kits especially. They don't want to take too many risks and give open a sight, because that will be all she wrote for this first rifle round as far as they're concerned. Still have plenty of nades as well. It does 3 smokes and Molotovs to stall a bit longer. There's one being tossed out to short B. Or short A, I mean. The MPK's got in with his AUG. It is a 1-for-1 trade though. Still split up with the terrorists, but they're going to be meandering their way onto the A side momentarily because the bomb is over on this side. Zywoo going to come out worse for wear on that trade. Rez gets the headshot partially through the block. It's been an extended round. It seems to just keep going on, and NiP aren't fully committing to this either. They're now moving to the B side, which is by and large barren. They only have RPK here. He has found Rez, who was already weakened on 4 HP.
Doesn't know about Lecro though, Vince.
Lecro can hear him, though. He's going to catch him as he runs away. They wanted to try and save the weapons. They've also got Get Right, who is lurking.
Whoa! They can't plant in time.
Oh, that's the bomb down! Apex actually landed it through the smoke.
Yep. Wow. That is so crazy that that's how they won. It was looking so good for NiP. They transitioned to B really well. They had Lecro up close. RPK had no idea. That should have been it for NiP. That's actually so crazy they lost just because they ran out of time because they just had an unfortunate death on the bomb carrier. That's so crazy, man. I almost didn't even catch it because I thought it was just going so well for NiP, and then I looked up at the clock. I was like, oh, wait a second. This is ruined.
That's the problem with taking so long. Is it?
Yeah.
We talk about this often, and all it can come down to is just one kill at the right moment. If you have 4 or 5 seconds left, and that's the round one. It doesn't matter how much your backs are against the wall. That is your win condition. NiP
Ouch, man.
pretty much shooting themselves in the foot that round.
Absolutely. And now they're going to have to do more with less res on the Galil, PETA on a CZ. Not that much utility. I mean, NiP do have a really good default on this map, but as you noted, they just took a little bit too much time to work out where they wanted to go with it. They definitely had even the right openings and positioning, but still somehow fumbled the ball at the goal line.
Suppose if we're trying to look at the confidence of NiP, they can say, okay, that's on us. It's not as exactly like Vitality outplayed us, it's just our own doing. So we're in control still.
So my question was answered, by the way. PETA is indeed just taking Dennis's spot with res over towards the A side of the map, so that's what I was wondering.
Just fitting in then in that case. I mean, he's the coach, you expect that he knows all the angles, all the positions. Speaking of PETA, he goes in first. It's an XM, but it's going to take down 2 players. I was going to say the Vitality, even though they win the round, they still have a very rough buy. But that's one hell of a way to kick things off. RPK has been caught, though, trying to move away from short pipe. So NiP not completely out of this round just yet.
No, bomb down in connector, though. Going to be hard for them to grab that back with NBK in position to still defend it. Catches a kill at range on Lecro with the shotgun, and he's racking up the cash as well, Vince. That's 3 kills on a shotgun.
That last one was at pretty long range for the XM as well. So NBK sniping fools with a shotgun down in connector. And NiP sent packing. Get right can only try and drop down, and NBK's going to get the quad with the XM.
Man, it was like John Wick Chapter 3 in that connector. Just giving him the shotgun, man.
Well, he is a natural-born killer, right? So it would make sense.
All fits. It all ties in. Absolutely.
NBK's alias confirmed.
Doesn't have the long hair, but at least has the beard, so it kind of halfway there.
And NiP are straight up broke. 2 deagles. That's it.
Yeah. You hate to see it, Vince. Unless you're a French fan, then you're probably pretty happy with how things are going so far. Yeah.
Yeah. Probably pretty content. Especially after the complete blunder of the first couple of rounds, and it was looking like it would be a 3-0. The head just popping up. NBK nearly takes it down. Get right loses 60 health in the process. Playing aggressive are Vitality up against Pistols. Many teams would decide to sort of peel back and play very default, passive anti-eco. But Vitality wanted to take the fight to NiP, choke them out, show them who's boss, stamp their authority on this early on. NBK gets dinked, but still delivers the fatal blow to Rez. And the Galil, finally, using all of its ammunition, down to just 1 bullet. 34 bullets put down range to finally take down the last couple of plays. Vitality will take the lead for the first time in this best of 3.
And NiP still don't really have the best of money, Vince. I mean, there's still not going to be an op available. Utility's still going to be limited. Yes, they can still get rifles and armor, but this is a team that outside of default really love to do heavy utility hits on the B-bomb site. You know, mollies and smokes all over the place. They really like to make CT scramble and isolate the site and force people into awkward space. They're really, really good, actually, with their Molotov uses on the B-bomb site at barrels and graffiti and all that good stuff. It makes it very hard to defend against their executes, but if they never are able to get to the money to get those nades out, it makes it so much harder. And look at that. You love ZywOo. You love the aggressive plays. There's one for you right there.
Alex also going with aggression, similar result. One of the reasons why ZywOo is being touted as the next big thing in Counter-Strike.
Yeah. Again, number 2 in almost every statistical category this year on LAN, just behind Simple. So that's the type of level he's had so far in 2019.
As if chat's spamming spoilers, by the way. Shock, guys. John Wick kills people in John Wick 3.
That's the most unreal spoilers I've ever heard, mate. Are you
How dare you spoil that John Wick uses the shotgun?
Let me just spoil John Wick for you more. There's no plot. There you go. That's the end. Anyway, NiP storming into the A-bomb site and planting the bomb.
Post plant. Vitality with a player advantage. No longer get right. gives Apex a free haircut, but goes a little bit too deep. ZywOo onto Forest. He goes aggressive into back close range. ZywOo will not be missing that ever. He is too damn good to take that risk. Switches to the AK-47, peeking through long. Get Right is still holding his own, but it's down to Lekro on the flower bed, and there's the spray. On point. Vitality, 4 rounds in a row.
Yeah, they're definitely heating up, Vince. Almost as heated as I am that people are mad about a John Wick 3 reference. Jesus.
I haven't even seen it. I already know what happens, but I haven't even seen it.
The thing is, I didn't even spoil anything. Like, there's actually way more important stuff. I said he killed someone with a shotgun. Like, imagine that.
Right, DreamHack, fire this guy. He spoiled everything.
Dude says like 10 words the whole movie. I mean, there's nothing for me to spoil. You know what is spoiled, though, is NiP's chances at finding many T rounds at this point. Like, they are just really up against the ropes. Money is bad. Finally, next round, they'll have a really good full buy. It's 7 rounds deep before it's going to happen, but it's been a tough ride for them so far. Again, unfortunate situation that Dennis is not here, especially since he plays such a pivotal role in helping create openings for Rez to follow up on.
Gonna be something they have to contend later on, but ZywOo able to get himself alive somehow out of there after being spammed up through multiple pistols. And also the scout, which I believe is what tagged him from Get Right. And they're looking like they're going to cruise to a very comfortable first half tally on the T side. Has been derailed.
Yeah. So they might be able to get into B and plan. RPK is playing pretty passive towards Graffiti. There will be a rotation towards Heaven, sure, but if they can just get past RPK and get to default spot, they could at least get some bomb money here, but anything past that would be pretty miraculous. But now Alex is here too, so unless they miss some shots, they're probably not even gonna get the bomb in. Oh, that incendiary is gonna do it as well.
15 seconds left. Another incendiary being tossed onto the site. RPK gonna hold on. Need to try to push him. Pretty clinical in the end. The one casualty at the start of the round. Vitality extend to a 5-2 lead.
But here finally is the full buy from NiP. Now, do they want to go default again and give Force a chance to find things out the AWP? Or, now that they finally have a full nade set, are we going to see one of their trademark heavy utility B executes with mollies and smokes and flashes all over the place? I feel like that B execute would be kind of the pacing change they need to make Vitality feel uncomfortable. This slow spread out play has not netted them much, but again, now that they finally have utility to work map control and have an op for Forest, maybe things will go a little bit better.
And it needs to be quite cautious that they don't let this one slip away. Take these rifle rounds slow and steady, where you feel like they're at their most powerful. That flashbang, not ideal. Player close on bathrooms will be MBK, pulling back to join ZywOo, who's watching along with the AWP. They have field out mid, but not really got much information, and now they're going to start to draw back. They don't have any player in connector either, NiP. This is actually quite risky.
They haven't had short B control for a long time now, though, so this does help them have a little bit more of a staging ground to actually go for the execute. MBK and ZywOo are pushed pretty deep base, so the rotation is actually going to be a little bit slow. And again, they have good utility to run one of their B execs. It's not going to be as heavy as they want, but still a decent amount to get their way in.
Double spray from Alex. That's the bomb down as well. There is still time for NiP to use. They don't have to rush through the Molotov, but good flashbang. Also put in. MBK thinking about the connector rotation. This is where things are going to become even more arduous. Having to tiptoe their way to the site and hope for the best. There's a team kill thrown in there as well. Worst possible moment. Electro nullifies Get Right, and Vitality get their 6th in a row. What a mess.
When things are already not bad enough, Vince, let's throw in a team kill in the middle of the execute. That'll really get us where we need to be. It might have been one of those unfortunate ones, though, where you're just aiming at someone, your teammate just happens to run in front of your crosshair. Those are kind of unavoidable at times, but still deadly.
Right, I think that was flashbangs firing in as well, so they could have been blinded and just sort of panic fired. It does happen.
So 6 in a row for Vitality. And of the 6 rounds they've won, in 3 of them, they only lost 1 player. So they are building up a substantial bank. They're dominating these rounds. That round, they only lost 2 players. So bulk of these rounds are keeping the majority of their team alive. Not even giving NiP much of a chance. And NiP, man, they just seem a little bit timid. Like, I mean, they're getting initial map control at short B and things like that. Like, they're getting kind of those initial footholds, but they're not really launching from them well at all. You know, Vitality are just holding their ground and knocking them once they get towards the bomb sites. There's only really been 1 close round for NiP since they won pistol in the 2nd round.
Oh, this nade is going to do so much damage. Actually, no, it's not, but the org is instead. I think it just went slightly behind them. They had to run through Molotovs, and now smoke's being deployed. Apex and Alex gonna hold on with their orgs. There's another spray through the smoke. At least NiP have been afforded a bomb plant. Get Right's gonna get 1, but that's it. And Vitality again. And take it down. It wasn't quite as clean as they'd have liked, but they got the round. That's all that matters.
Yeah, but max loss bonus combined with the bomb plant, combined with the fact that they didn't spend that much money in that round, means they will have a really comfortable buy here. But you got to do something with it. Okay, this is a declaration of intent, in my opinion. Force does not buy an AWP. They have big nade sets. I think they are going to go for a heavy B execute right off the bat. Lots of utility pouring into B. It's going to try something different. That's what I predict will happen, but I could very well be wrong. It could just be standard map control. But no, it looks like Forest is indeed trailing over towards B with Peta and Get Right. Lecro and Connector. Rez already drawing back away from A towards Connector as well. So definitely staging up to get short B control into a B split. The problem is, look at Apex and NBK's positioning. They could disrupt this. They could boost, maybe look through the window. They could just open the door at the wrong time for NiP and catch them with nades in their hands. Like, this could be very dangerous.
Yeah, this has been a few rounds in the making as well, because they've already seen NiP go for a fast B play without taking Connector control earlier on. They knew that would be open. Now they're going to go through, though. It's going to be an even trade. NBK next up does find a kill. Threading through the hole of the squeaky door. Alex now takes the opportunity to strike them from behind, and he will smite Forest before Rez will counteract with his AK-47, but the bomb has been dropped. Rez is all alone. NiP just can't get anything working right now.
I think Vitality and I both had the same script, and we read it. We knew what was going on there, and Vitality with the perfect counter through Connector to stop NiP before they could roll out in that utility. So much money they had built up in their nade arsenal just wasted away. But Rez, there's some hope here. He has a 1v2. He's got low health, sure, but he is going to be able to get control of this bomb. Well, maybe not. Actually, yeah, they did give it up, but that peek, so well timed by NBK.
Yeah, the bomb was in a really awkward spot as well. It was obviously very easily retrievable, but he had to jump up and make noise to get there in the first place.
And for all he knew, someone was still in Connector, so...
Yep. Yeah, exactly. It's always going to be an uphill climb, but NiP, at least, with their max round loss bonus, can get more AKs in play.
They're going to go for it again, Vince. This time they're going to hope that they don't get sidelined by some Connector push. It's going to be that same short B control with Forest and Peta. Lecro and Rez already outside Motzer. Here comes that heavy utility hit on B we've been waiting for. But there's already a 3rd man at B, Vince, and NBK and Zai are already rotating back to A site, so they'll be able to quickly reinforce B as soon as they see the nades flying over. In fact, NBK is already going towards heaven. There's going to be 4 on B.
And again, they don't have Connector control, so they can't even be sure that they could easily rotate back up towards A, so they're going to have to bite down on this. Bomb's gone in first. Alex doesn't care. All in hand. RPK also chips in with 2. It's a massacre. This site, impenetrable for Vitality. Lecro can only do so much with 23 HP. Molotov gonna greet him in the face, has to pull back into the arms of Alex. What a round by Vitality.
Now their utility was just riddled worthless. Alex gets those 2 kills. That means NBK can safely just push past the smoke that was heaven, so he's not isolated anymore. He's not cut off from defending. So big play from Alex to get those initial 2 kills as NiP began to pour out, unaffected by the flashes. Really shuts down that B attack. And now, if you're NiP, I don't know what you do, man. Because they basically tried it all. They tried defaults. They tried their heavy utility B exec. They have a couple of more variations of their B hit they could try once they get money back, which may catch Vitality off guard. But it's looking pretty grim.
Trying to just go back to sort of a default A mid control round. Bombs dropped on T side of Connector. They've already lost Lecro as well. And keep in mind that these 2 rounds were off the back of the pistol. It's not as if NiP have had a couple of rifle rounds. They've lost every single rifle round so far on their T-half. Res down to 5. When I was thinking as well, Dust, like, what could NiP do? And I'm just drawing blanks. They are head and shoulders beneath Vitality. Vitality have been superior in every single facet of the game. There's a 1D, though. For us keeping that dream alive, no matter how thin it is. There's a second one. We saw him pull off some pretty tasty clutches earlier, but ZywOo has him dead to rights with the AWP. The ridiculous train of wreckage for Vitality continues pressing forward.
Just a few rounds left to play in this half. Not many opportunities for NiP to get on the board. They need to make the most of these. Force will have the AWP again, so might slow it down and give them a chance to take a crack at things with the op. They're actually going to send him towards Connector. Not a bad play. There has been a lot of aggression here from the CT side, but this time it's going to be aggression towards Fountain from Vitality. 3 players holding forward, Vince. We do see NiP just trying to get into the playground. Forrest still here with AWP, but Forrest back. Good little kill there from Rez, but the response from ZywOo and RPK so on point. Rez is slugging back, though. He's trying his damnedest to keep NiP in this round. He's doing a great job with 3. Lekro pitching in as well. It's all on NBK. 1 versus 3 for the man here as he rotates from B to the A bomb side. NiP have a couple of players low on health, so it's certainly doable, but this is NiP's best chance to get around, you feel. The other big thing working for them is that they have so much time on the clock to work out this 3 versus 1. So they should be able to find the right opening into a bomb site, given they have plenty of times to calculate what to do next.
And NiP at least getting themselves back in amongst the potential rounds. NBK is all that stands between them. He's over on the A side. Has found one. Rez has gone down to his hands with a bomb. Now has a clear trajectory across to the B side where it will be getting planted. There's no way for NBK to stop this. He could maybe get a kill on the retreat, though, for Get Right, but doesn't decide to peek it too early. Instead, he's going to be heading up onto Heaven now. Get Right with an AWP, watching the right-hand side. Unbeknownst to him, NBK's already crossed. Does have a kit, does have a flash. Where does he decide to push? He's actually just dropped down now. Gonna have a quick peek onto Lekro. Finds him. There's no cohesion here between NiP. Get Right's gonna try and play the time. He's hoping, praying that NBK doesn't peek around the pillar. And he does, but it's in the arms of Get Right. He had moved into position. The veteran does get NiP a 3rd round.
It was a labored one, though, Vince. It should have been much easier than that. They had a 3 versus 1. It came down to a 1v1. NBK almost robbed them of that. Great work from Rez, though, at the beginning. That was a difficult situation with Vitality, having all those forward positions and battling through it all for 3 key kills on the rounds. Get Right being the closer. Couple of rounds left to go here. Can NiP at least get to 5? At least make this competitive? We're waiting to see, as again they're going to take it default. Again, Forrest initially goes Connector. No aggression there, though, so we'll reroute with Peta and Rez towards the A side. So back to default for NiP. No real major aggression from Vitality in this round, though they do have a little bait and switch to RPK and Alex over at Monster, which could come into play later if NiP decide to go B and Alex still holds that position.
Flash is finding a way onto short A. Not going to be baiting out any utility from Vitality or showing any faces from Bathroom either, because they're playing more of a long-centric defense. ZywOo up there with NBK, now being joined by Alex. NiP taking mid-control. They're leaving their options open. It's something we didn't see a great deal up until this point. That grenade not quite deep enough to bother Forrest. He's now going to go for the peak flicks across to NBK. That's a big pick. Do they expect ZywOo to be up close in Bathroom, though? Looking for that revenge kill. Looking to try and turn the tables back in Vitality's favor. He has been spotted now. Apex going to pick up the mantle. Peeking through long. Finds Rez. ZywOo just dipping out of there, realizing he's about to become encircled. It's starting to swell with terrorists. They don't have enough time to go back to B either. That's why they've drawn out a second play over here. They feel pretty confident in doing so. They need Alex to get up close as well. There's a crossfire in play, but RPK stands alone. Not quite the one-man army they were hoping for. And now it's up to Alex. He's going to have to try and take a leaf out of MBK's book from the round prior and put himself close. Similar situation, but the reversal bomb site. He has an organ, a kit. No nades, but the first kill goes his way. This time, Get Right will not be clutching the 1v1. It has to be Lecro, and he will also pull the trigger. NiP 2 rounds in a row, ending the half solidly.
As we go into the final round, we've seen some good things from NiP here lately. They've been some labored rounds. It's taken, 1v1s to do it, but they are at least punching them in. That was a great little default from NiP, just getting control of bathrooms, limiting Zywa's impact, not letting him find a kill. Forest with that entry with AWP on site really helped things along. They also got a kill into Apex pretty quick from long, so just a really nicely formed default into a pretty standard A execute, and it worked out well. Zywa's actually been really quiet this game, to be fair. 6 and 5, but as soon as I say that, he's teed off.
A lot of that was down to odd peaks from NiP, though. Very slow peaking on A short. You know that Zywa likes to go for those peaks. That, for me, is a massive blunder. They had a chance to maybe end the half on 5 rounds and give themselves something to build off. I'm not sure 4 will be enough. A second pistol has so much pressure on it now if you're a Sweet. Lacro will claim a frag onto MBK and take control of Connector momentarily. The bomb is back towards T spawn. And Lecro is the closest of the 2 Ts. Get Right's already perched up on short. He's already trying to rummage around the back of them. Interestingly enough, RPK is holding it pretty much alone, but he's playing a more passive angle of Graffiti. Gets on to Get Right. Lecro's also been sent reeling, and it's going to be a commanding 11-4 lead at halftime.
Indeed, it is a commanding one at that for sure, Vince, as it is a dominant performance from the Frenchman on the CT side of the map pick of NiP on Overpass. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll bring you the second half of map 1 here, so stay tuned.
We are back in our second best of 3. First half has concluded, sees Vitality in a commanding 11-4 lead, and NiP trying desperately to salvage this. They're on the CT side, which is the easier of the 2 halves, but this pistol is so vitally important. I'm Vince, joined by Dust, and we are live into pistol round number 2.
Could be a fast one, Vince, unless NiP can claim this pistol and get rolling. And that would be a real shame because, again, this was their pick, but it's certainly a strong Vitality map, so I don't think they gain much of an edge by picking Overpass, if I'm honest, but trying to go with personal comfort, can't be faulted for that. We do see Vitality just starting to get towards A with the bomb, coming up connector. They'll find mid pretty empty. Do have Apex coming up long A as well. It's just Alex kind of sitting outside B. Ouch.
Who is somehow just taking all the bullets. None of them are headshots. Yeah, still alive on 48 HP as well. So he's keeping Get Right really interested. Finally gets that kill with Forest. But it's drawn 2 of them out. Now Vitality have the option of trying to hit A, but they're playing this slow intentionally to try and bait out as if it was a fake. Now they're going back down connector. Get Right is here up close. Only has 4 HP.
Oh man, it's gonna come down to timing. Yikes.
They don't check him. They're not going to check him. Get Right to let them all go past. That's 1. They must be so confused what the hell is happening right now. The 22 minds and the 2 veterans are going to claim all the kills. 4 for Forest, 1 for Get Right. Completely bamboozling Vitality.
Yeah, well done by Get Right, man. He knew he had to do something special to pull off a play with that low of health. So hiding in the corner and being lucky enough to not get checked. Getting a kill in the back of the 3rd, able to make all the calls. Force able to focus on the 2 that Get Right was calling coming through short. They knew they didn't have to really worry about Monster because Get Right had all the numbers in front of them. That was so well done. Now Vitality onto the full save.
The blender's in, but Pitta, his blades are dull. And his bullets are not true. Get Right, though. We'll pick up the slack. Swedes. Back into this half, back into this map with a boom. Nice shot from Get Right. As you say, though, it is a full eco, so you have to take into consideration that Vitality are very, very weak. And as anticipated, NiP will take it.
AKs across the board here for Vitality. Definitely a team that's pretty well rounded on this map. Can definitely play defaults pretty well, but also they have that nature to them of just loading up with 4 or 5 players and doing something really fast towards the A-bomb site. So curious to see what route they'll take. Also, the curious thing about Vitality, which I've never understood, and you're going to see it in this round, Apex is their B lurker instead of an entry over towards A. Instead, it's RPK playing with Alex. So that's always been kind of odd to me, but also, since they do a lot of B executes in mid to late round, Apex still winds up doing a good bit of entry work through Monster or short B. So still gets to do kind of his trademark style, but just at default, he plays a different position than he's done most of his career.
Not a huge amount of utility for NiP, considering that they have won the last 2 rounds. 3 smokes remain, only 1 HE, no incendiaries.
Also, just to comment on that, the reason why it's weird because every other map it's RPK and NBK on the edges. This is the one map where RPK does a lot more entry work. So that's why I say it was odd, in case people were curious what I meant by that. But either way, starting to get to the mid round here. What does Vitality want to do? Seems like they're starting to commit towards mid. They got to deal with Rez up close, though, in the bathroom, so he could be the thorn in their side.
You play strong, moving towards Monster. Rez gonna outmaneuver Alex. Sent packing. Bathroom is now clear. That's gonna give the information that NiP needs. There's a peek out, catching MBK as he tries to toss in a smoke. I can play behind that sandbag. It's gonna really play havoc with Vitality. There's a crossfire established. Bomb's also been dropped out. They need RPK to come in and clear away this nuisance. 2 AK frags go to his name, looking for more. Gets more. That's 3. It's all on Rez now. He can try and fake this bomb if he so chooses, but decides to go down on it fully and gets the bomb planted. It's down to Rez. It could just come down to timing here. RPK spins! Oh, that's a frag! The tank is just absolutely obliterating everything in front of him. That is sensational.
He's gotten 21 kills this game, Vince. He's topping the charts. He's well above Zaiwu, the normal star of the team. He is really rolling back those years and looking so strong. And I think it's important to note that the reason why Vitality has been doing so well lately is not just because they've gotten some new direction with Alex's in-game leadership, not just because they have Zaiwu, the star player who's just a special one-of-a-kind type of guy outside of Simple, but it's also people like Apex and RPK lately have been really putting in the numbers. And RPK can still have those big games at times that really helps give that fragging power support around Zaiwu. It's not a one-man show anymore. And that was a brilliant display from the tank himself.
What an impact that has on the landscape of Overpass. This was NiP trying to claw their way back into this half. Now they're having to deplete all of their funds just to keep their head above water. CZ for Peter, MP9 for Forest, 1 kit, lack of grenades. That could be the play, Dust. That could be the play that sees Vitality win this map.
Definitely could, given the economy of NiP has just been rotten to the core now because of that play. They have something to work with here, sure, but they're down to $0 on the bulk of their players and just 50 for Lekro and Rez. On a 2-round loss bonus, they'll have nothing to challenge Vitality to go for 14. So they have to make do with little here, despite the man disadvantage.
Molotov's being tossed towards the back of the site. Alex and MBK both going to open their account in the round, and, well, NiP have been snipped. There's no 2 ways about it. Lekro just has to go and save.
The NiP has been twisted, Vince.
It has. Quite a few times, it would seem. I think RPK's play alone is going to have them sore for a few days.
That's the crazy thing about NiP, just like for shorthand, their NiP. So you combine that with a couple of other team names, like, it can get pretty wild. I think my favorite one is whenever you do big versus NiP, but you take the versus out. That's a classic.
I'm pretty sure some people did that with stickers as well on their guns.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it looks like... Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just saying, like, you're just so spot on about how much that RPK clutch has really killed things for NiP's comeback effort.
Yeah. Dead in the water, pretty much. Remember, this is NiP's choice, a map, right? So...
Yep.
The more you look into it, the worse it gets.
Yeah. That's one of the big things I feel like that's hurt NiP lately, despite, obviously the biggest issue is that they have a stand-in situation, but I feel like their overpass is really weakened. It used to be so strong, but lately they've really had their struggles, and this just seems to be another one added to it. And also it's the story of Vitality building up so nicely lately, and there's Zywoo coming in.
Not bad. Not a bad little spray down. It is against weakened NiP, should be highlighted, but can't fault him for the spray. Let grow. Let's try and make a hero play occur. Apex says, nah, not today.
One last stand, Vince. The bias coming out, rifles across the board for NiP. No AWP will be in play, but they will have 3 AUGs, 2 M4s. Also, no kit for a retake. That must be factored in. And limited utility as well to try to challenge against Vitality going for map control or, again, working out retakes. So it's going to all come down mostly just to sheer aim.
Red's going to take the fight to Vitality. Bit of a desperation play, perhaps, trying to mess with the minds of Vitality, make them respect. The NiP's still in this matchup. It's looking like that aggression is going to yield the round, potentially. It is a gimmicky play, though. They can't rest on this round in, round out. And it's not done just yet. They can't rest on this. They still have to convert it. Get Right goes for the peak. Nearly loses his head from Alex. Forest, though, now going to be lurking into the ladder. Gets the kill. It was a bit of an awkward one. Alex was trying to jump down there. They almost butted heads in midair. But Apex has been spotted, and 10 HP separates him and his demise. Get Right, though, going to be found. And remember that each kill from here on out is going to be so costly for NiP. Their economy is still in very rough shape.
Absolutely.
2 weapons. If they can win from this point, Dust, even now, someone's going to have to skimp out on a pretty poor buy.
Not only that, but if they lose the next round, whenever Vitality is going for map point, you are screwed. You've got nothing. So definitely any economic damage that Apex has done, which he's already gotten a couple, is really going to help them long term. So little health, it's doubtful he'll be able to get the round. He's just creeping in low time. He can't even really clear necessarily everything. And there's just a timing peak from Forest. So another round goes the way of NiP. Can they build off of it, though?
I think it's going to be a hard ask because Vitality will be straight back in with their own full buy. Only Rez with any significant money, just $1,100. Everybody else flat out broke, so they're not even close to being out of the woods just yet. Aggressive peak again, though, NiP. This is somewhat surprising, doing it twice in a row.
I think they just want to try to disrupt Vitality, not let them get comfortable in these rounds. Once Vitality gets space, they can be so explosive. You want to try to disrupt them in these situations. But there's Alex finding Rez this time around. No big play from him this time. Pete has been spotted as well. He's good for 1, though. Quickly traded is the problem.
Yeah, unfortunate positioning in the end. As soon as his teammate went down around him, he was left out to dry. Get Right. Not going to be rewinding the years just yet. Forest, though, maybe can. I mean, he's always been good, to be fair. He's always been up there. We've had proof of that earlier in this very tournament, Dust. We had the pleasure of casting him on Dust 2.
Yeah, that 1v3 is still fresh in my memory that he had yesterday against Tyloo. This would be a step further.
Oh, yeah. This is a very different circumstance. I think, really, he's already setting up to save the AK, in all honesty.
Yeah, actually, I think that was technically a 1v4 yesterday. We only caught 3 of them on the highlight, but I think it was actually 4.
There's the bomb down. Forest on short A in the bathrooms. Gonna try and hold on to his AK. Also some utility and armor behind it, which is gonna be worth so much. Rez can get some kind of weapon alongside that. Make no mistake, though, this next spike is gonna be very, very poor indeed for NiP. They don't have max round loss bonus, not even close. They're gonna have some pistols, maybe SMGs in play.
Yep. Enjoying watching Vitality play, though, man. Don't take any credit away from them. They've done so well. Again, they're showing that they're just a more well-rounded team. They aren't just relying on, like, 1-4 aggression or, you know, scrappy play. That they actually can, you know, play out a default, take map control, have good team play, have, you know, some established roles between what each player is going to focus on. And they still can, though, switch to that fast-paced play when they need to for a pacing change. So it's nice to see them kind of building up their playbook and kind of evolving with the meta, because that's really where all the great teams really shine, is by having a well-balanced type of play, not so focused on just one style.
Yeah, 2 Deagles and MP9. It's rough times. Peter taking the bullet for his teammates, actually dropping a weapon across. He's got no Kevlar, and now NiP trying to stack 3 players on B, really hoping for the best. Vitality likely going to take this one fairly slow and try and draw out what little remains of the utility that NiP possess. There's a flashbang tossed over. Only 1 smoke remaining. Putting pressure into connector through NBK. ZywOo about to strike. Head caved in on Get Right. Could be more to follow. Lekro, normally a Deagle god, can't get anything quite yet. He's turned quite mortal. ZywOo putting bullets into Peter. It's the beginning of the end. Rez and Forest have to stand as giants if they're going to clutch this one. Rez with the spray, the M4A4 ripping through heads. Forest, can he get it? Another one. That's a beautiful tap onto Apex. Could be going to Alex afterwards. Alex is going to peek again. This is actually possible, and Forest is going to keep them alive. Just about. For a little while longer. But he's going to get it done.
Man, oh man, it's the 2 key players for NiP most times. Forest and Rez, a full house of frags between them. Keeps them afloat, at least for now. The problem is they didn't really retain any guns, so they're still going to have limited utility coming into this round. They're probably not going to have an AWP. Although, actually, as I say that, I did see one that was bought up. It's going to go to Get Right, of all people. That is not the normal hands it would be in. And normally it would be Dennis or Forrest, but Get Right's going to be opping long A. What is this? I guess he just had a good spawn to push with it?
Yeah, up on long. Maybe wanting to prioritize Forrest, who's just in solid form at the moment, to go play on the threatened bomb site. Apex did spot the head of Peter just hopping over, damage being inflicted on both sides, but it's going to spell Vitality with a player advantage. ZywOo and RPK, oh so low, just a bullet away from death. A gust of wind would take RPK out of this one. Flashes, greeting Peter as he thinks about pushing. He's in the smoke. Gets found. Lekro in the meanwhile, though, needs to hold his nerve. And he can't do it. Apex is there to deliver. Get Right's definitely been spotted. The barrel of the gun around the corner. NBK can see this from a mile off. Leaving Rez 1-on-4. They got a 2v4 clutch last round. Can he go one better? No! The wild spray through the smoke signifies the end of Overpass, and it reads 16-8 to Vitality.
And everyone on the Vitality performed well there. Obviously, RPK, NBK, and Apex in the high 20s, but ZywOo and Alex were there when they needed to be with some big plays, and that was a nice little well-layered execute on the B-bomb site from Vitality, taking care to smoke and flash appropriately to make things easier. Again, definitely a better tactical team than they've ever been, giving France something really to get behind, and that's a big victory. But we're going to take a short break. Hope you guys are enjoying the broadcast. You can follow Vince and I over on Twitter, hit !Podcasters in chat, but we will be back in a moment to bring in Matt. So stay tuned here between Vitality and NiP.